Welcome to Requity Insights, a channel dedicated to documenting our journey to 100 world-class communities. Welcome to today's episode of Requity Insights. This is your host, Dylan Marma, and in today's episode, we will be discussing the topic of infilling mobile home communities. We're going to be covering the benefits of infilling. We're going to cover how to evaluate vacant sites and home types, and some of the challenges that come along with financing mobile homes. Mobile home communities have become a very popular investment in the last few years, as is no surprise to you. It's something we've been very involved in. One way to increase the value of mobile home communities is through infilling vacant lots. So infilling is the process of adding new homes to existing communities to fill empty spaces. And through infilling mobile home communities with new homes for sale or for rent, you're able to not only create additional value through adding more rental income or even getting some sales proceeds on your existing properties, but you can also increase the overall value by making the entire community more desirable place to live. As a park becomes more full and vibrant with new homes and families, it can really create a strong sense of community and further enhance the quality of life for the different residents throughout the community. It's important to note that in order to sell new mobile homes, it's often necessary to become a mobile home retailer or dealer, especially since collecting sales tax is required in some states. Regulations for becoming a retailer dealer vary state by state, and it's a prerequisite for buying new homes since manufacturers require it for approvals from retailers. So once you're approved for your dealer's license, manufacturers could then sell homes to you, give you the title or the manufacturer's certificate of origin. So it's very important for every single state you operate in, you have to go out and get your dealer's license if you want to be able to bring in new homes. When evaluating vacant sites for infill, there are several different factors to consider. The first one is the location of the property. This is the most important thing, and it's essential to ensure that the community is located in a desirable area, which is easy to access, amenities such as schools, shopping centers, and public transportation. You want to ensure that the demand is there and that this is a community where people want to live long-term and acquire a permanent home in. Generally, you want to see high median home price, say $200,000 or more, to ensure that what you're offering is affordable compared to buying a single family or any of the alternatives. Now, additionally, investors should look for vacant sites that are easily accessible and have proper utilities such as water, electric, and sewer available to the site. The second one to consider when infilling a mobile home community is how you're going to be able to fund the purchase of the new home. So until recently, the options you have were limited to either using cash or taking out a line of credit. This is because the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010, under Dodd-Frank, traditional mortgages on mobile homes became subject to the same lending regulations and standards as other mortgage types, whereas previously they were treated as personal property, which tends to not have the same regulation. So now lenders are going to require verifying the borrower's ability to repay the loan similar to a traditional home loan, making it more difficult for purchasers of traditional mobile homes, as many of the borrowers just simply did not meet the lending standards. So since the passing of Dodd-Frank, alternative financing options have emerged, such as chattel loans, which are secured by the mobile home itself rather than the land that it sits on. And as a result, some investors have shifted their focus on these alternative financing options, allowing them to continue investing in the mobile home industry. Today, infilling mobile home communities is becoming more accessible through the availability of programs such as the 21st Mortgage Program, which is probably the most well-known program out there. The 21st program is owned by Berkshire Hathaway under the Clayton Homes umbrella, and other lenders similar to them loan money to acquire mobile homes to both consumers and investors, making it easier to be able to purchase and fill in vacant lots. These manufactured and mobile home loan programs offer overall pretty attractive terms, reasonable interest rates that are fixed rate loans. They generally have no prepayment penalty. There's no collateral requirements on the land itself, only the home. There's financing for the homes located within, you can finance them on individual lots or within a park or community. You also have the ability to finance both new and lots of used manufactured homes. So you do have to usually hit a certain threshold in loan amount. Then there's primary, secondary, investment, and even buy for options, meaning they will fund it for the investors that are buying many homes, bringing them into the communities, as well as the consumers, or even people buying them for the consumers to be able to guarantor the loan alongside the consumer. And there's some closing costs, there's some third-party fees, which oftentimes are able to be financed as well. So it's a really, really solid product that I think is a huge win for both the residents of mobile home communities seeking to purchase, as well as for investors who are hoping to bring in more new homes to their communities. So when you think about what that does for you as an investor, the difference between having to bring all this extra cash in and buy all these homes with cash and then sell them off through either cash sales, which can be very difficult because not everyone has, $60,000, for instance, to just go and purchase a cash mobile home. They're looking for an affordable housing option. Or the alternative to that that's been used very regularly has been rent-to-own programs where you're putting usually a piece of the initial investment down and then having a rent credit program that pays off over a certain period of time. The difference between buying cash and selling with cash sales or rent-to-own to being able to use third-party financing on new homes and bring them in and then sell them off using the same financing, in some cases requiring hardly any cash outlay from the owner's perspective besides the initial home setup cost. It goes a very, very long way with the overall return on your investment as it's reducing the overall cost of capital for you as the investor who is funding those homes. Now, let's talk about transitioning into how do you value a vacant lot? 10 years ago, and if you look at historically in mobile home communities, a lot of the purchasers of mobile home communities would say, oh, well, I'm not attributing any value to the vacant lot because of the work it's going to be to bring a home in there, get it sold off, it's taking on additional risk, creating more complexity in the process, so let's just put no value on those lots. As the financing programs have gotten stronger, the investment markets have gotten more competitive, the prices that people are willing to pay for vacant lots have increased dramatically. We've come across situations where people are willing to pay the same amount or even more for a vacant lot than they are for a lot that has an old used home on it. The reason being is because they see it as a way to be able to get a newer, nicer home onto the property rather than having to try to make an old home look good. And they also see it as a way to be able to get market rental rate right away. Whereas if the rents were way below market, investors often are more cautious about not just bringing rents up to market overnight, but having that be more of a gradual process. So bringing in a new home and selling it off to a new resident, you're able to achieve market lot rent rate right away, which can boost sort of the velocity of your investment, allowing you to be able to achieve more attractive returns, to have the potential to refinance or be able to sell with increased value within a few short years. So the way that investors value vacant lots now varies a lot, and it does depend really, really strongly on the market. So I know we already hit on that, but I really want to drill that home is that, in some markets, vacant lots still are worth nothing because if the median home price is too low, it's too sleepy of an area, and you're not going to be able to sell the homes, then you're just taking on more risk than it's worth to try to pull it off. But in really hot markets that have proven track records of being able to sell homes quickly and having the ability to even sell homes at a profit in many cases, the vacant lots investors generally do place pretty aggressive valuations on those vacant lots. We initially stayed away from a lot of infill opportunities when we got into this space because when we were initially getting into the space, we were dealing with the after effects just after COVID initially broke out, and we were worried about the supply chain risks because if investors are willing to pay the same amount for a vacant lot as they were for a lot that has a home on it, or whether it's tenant-owned home or park-owned home, we just did not think that made any sense because we saw significant risks within the supply chain of the cost of homes rising dramatically. But now we've seen the cost of homes go down significantly, and that makes us a lot more comfortable in today's market to be able to pursue different opportunities that have a significant infill component to them. So as you're infilling your community, it's important to know which types of homes to acquire and to make sure that the size is appropriate in relation to the lot size in the community. New mobile homes come in a variety of sizes, typically anywhere between 800 to 2,500 square feet. However, the size options are really going to vary depending on the manufacturer, the model of the home. So before purchasing a new mobile home, it's essential to first measure the lot and ensure that it can accommodate the home size. So to do this, you can follow these steps. So first, determine the size of the home and check the manufacturer's specifications for the home's width and length. Some common size of mobile homes are as follows. You have single wides, which are the smallest types manufactured homes. These are typically 14 to 18 feet wide and 60 to 90 feet long, representing a total of 300 to 1,300 square feet. Single wide homes are designed to be transported all in one piece. Double wide homes are the most popular type of manufactured homes as they provide substantially more space. These are two separate units that are joined together to create a larger home. Double wides are typically 20 to 28 feet and 60 to 90 feet long, with a total size of around anywhere between 1,000 on the small end up to 2,400 square feet. So they're definitely more expensive than single wide homes, but they offer much more space and amenities. And when you think about whether to go at single wides or double wides, you really want to look at the community itself and the affordability aspect. If you're in the middle of a major growing MSA and you see that double wides are selling like hotcakes at 120,000 a piece and you can buy them for 90,000 a piece, then double wides make for a really great option because you're providing really high quality homes, and if you see that there's proven sales history, then it may make sense. If you're in a market that maybe is not as strong, you may want to have more single wides because it's just an easier sale, right? For you to be able to, you're going to find more willing and able buyers to be able to get into single wide homes. Also depends on who you're selling to, right? Are you selling to people that have large families? Are you selling to more younger couples or older couples, or is it a senior community where there's not as much need for quite as much space? So you really want to be paying attention to the homes themselves to be able to determine what's the best fit type of a home. You also have triple wide homes, which are just like they sound. They're shipped in 3 different sections, and these can be amazing, and they have so many different standards of quality, and they have the appearance of a site-built home oftentimes. Typically, we find it's very rare to see triple wide homes in mobile home communities. These are more oftenly built on individual parcels of land rather than building a traditional stick-built home, but they can offer the most space and lots of luxury features on the higher end one. And then you also have park model homes. These are smaller and they typically are used for vacation homes or temporary living. These by nature have to be less than 400 square feet, and they're typically in RV parks or temporary locations, as that's what they are ultimately built for. And those are treated technically as RVs, though they generally are manufactured through the same manufacturers that manufacture traditional mobile homes. As mentioned, you have to reverse engineer it, right? And start with measuring your lots and see what type of home could fit best into that lot. Usually there's no clean and easy way to do it. Usually you have to get someone to go out there and actually just measure using a measuring stick, the width and the length of that overall lot. In addition to what you think can fit after you've done your measurements, you really have to go and check the setbacks and the zoning requirements through the local zoning department, as is very common that you have specific requirements on how far you have to be from the other homes and how far you have to be from the roads and maybe the utility systems within the community. So make sure that you are being compliant with the setback and zoning requirements in any given community. And then through taking these steps, you're able to ensure that the vacant lot can accommodate the size of the new mobile home that you wish to purchase. Now, as you add new homes and families into the community, you're going to see the vibrancy of the community increase, which once desolate spaces being filled with new homes, new people, and lifting up the overall feel for the entire community. So in addition to infilling being an economic value driver, this transformation can really help in the process of turning your mobile home park into a true community. If you're interested in learning more about how to create a thriving mobile home community, Be sure to check out the previous video that we had by clicking the link provided in the description. And that's all for today's episode. We hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions, comments, please reach out to us. Highly encourage everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as all the major podcast channels. Thank you for watching, and be sure to share this if you've gotten value out of it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Requity Insights hosted by our team at the Requity Group. You can find recordings of all shows along with our opt-in form to set up a call and view future investment offerings on our company website, therequitygroup.com, also listed in the show notes.